Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Sorry to interrupt.
Pardon?
I said sorry to interrupt if I was a little bit.
Yeah, we've just been sitting here thinking about you, so
Oh.
we're glad you're here.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a team sport. If you think about it for a minute, it's amazing that we have senses at all. The ears, you can take them for granted, but they're actually designed to catch sound. Like little satellite dishes almost. But they have some convolution here. And it's amazing we can hear it all. So one of the tenets of Bhakti Yoga, is that the basis of consciousness is eternal, and that the consciousness is what animates the body. And wherever we involve our consciousness, we start to take on the qualities of that environment. So if you look at a car and you start thinking about it, you think, I have to have that car, and at some point it becomes your car. And if somebody hits the car, then you say, you hit me, because we're identifying with the car. Whatever we put our consciousness into, we take on. It becomes part of us. And in a similar way, the Bhagavad Gita describes how we're conscious entities. We have personhood. But while we're in this body, which is like a car, we begin thinking of it as us. But one of the first points that Krishna makes to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita is that you're not your body. You're the soul that animates the body. And when we're in the world, means that we're in our mind. The mind's taking in the images and the stimuli from the world. And when we look at our mind and we identify with it, and with all that we see within the mind, it's much like watching a movie. If you've ever been in a situation where you're watching a movie and become so absorbed you forget where you are. And the emotions caused by the different circumstances of the movie, you might cry or you might laugh. But then when the light comes on, and you say, oh, it's light on a screen. So the mind is kind of like a movie screen also. And when we're watching that screen, we can get carried away by it and forget even who we are. So Krishna consciousness means to come back to our original consciousness, which is pure and full of happiness, eternality, happiness, knowledge. And one of the processes, or the main process that's taught in Bhakti Yoga, is to use sound vibration. It's said in the Vedanta Sutra, it's a book I referred to last night, which gives the most important aspects of the practice of Bhakti Yoga. Anavriti Shabdat. Shabdat means sound, and Anavriti means to become uncovered. So by transcendental sound, or sound which comes from a different stratum, from the highest stratum, spiritual stratum, then our consciousness becomes uncovered and we can see who we are, and we can also see our source, Krishna. And when we see ourselves, we see Krishna. It's called Krishna consciousness. It's a blissful consciousness. So the practice of mantra meditation we use our tongue and we use our ears. And when we repeat the mantra, we're coming in contact with spiritual sound. When we listen to it, the sound is purifying. And Lord Chaitanya, who taught this process 500 years ago, said that it cleans the mind, which is like, the mind is like a mirror and it gets cloudy or it gets dirty and you can't see yourself, you can't see reality. But when you chant, it cleans the mirror of the mind and you can see yourself. So it's simple in that you repeat the mantra and then listen to it. And in any meditation there has to be a single point. Ekagra means one-minded. The mind often goes off in many different directions. It goes to things we have to do, things we wish we had done in the past. We have worries, we have lamentations, and so forth. During this practice, you can just give yourself permission to put your mind in one place on the sound of the mantra, knowing that, or at least trusting for the time being, that it's a transcendental sound. It's like medicine for the mind. And practice bringing your mind back to the sound of the mantra. And the mantra has its own power. It has spiritual power. So you'll also be getting the benefit of that spiritual power. You may not feel it immediately, but you'll start to notice that when you chant Hare Krishna, you get clarity, and you also develop a sense of detachment from things that were bothering you before, or that you were attached to that you didn't want to be attached to. So that's part of cleansing the mind. So in chanting, one of the practices is to count how many mantras that we chant. So we use these beads. You can also use your hands, and you can count on your fingers how many mantras you chant. If you'd like to try some beads, we have some there, and I'll show you how to do it. We normally use these two fingers, the thumb and the middle finger. And you hold the bead like this in your right hand, and then you can hold it, and then you capture the next bead when you go to the next mantra. So you chant one mantra here, and then you move it to the next one, and you chant the next mantra there. So I'll just give an example. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now I'm on 2. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Would you like to try? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then you pull forward. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. That's right. I think you got it. And we're sitting like this right now, but you can chant by pacing. If you can't sit for a long time, not many people can. So it's okay to walk around or walk back and forth, so you can not feel uncomfortable. And when you do that, you just keep bringing your mind back to the mantra and be aware that you're chanting. It's possible to do something and not be aware that you're doing it. For instance, when you're reading a book, if you've ever had the experience that you get finished with a paragraph, you know you read it, but if somebody said, "What did you just read?" you'd say, "I have no idea." Because the mind, although my eyes are going down the page and somehow the reading process is happening, I'm thinking about something else, like signing up for the next set of classes or paying my taxes or something like that. So when you're chanting, it's a time when you can become more observant of your mind and notice whether you're aware that you're chanting or not. And if you keep asking yourself that question, am I aware that I'm chanting? And it's simple because you don't have to conjure anything. You just have to be aware that you're chanting and keep chanting and hear the mantra. And that's the main process. Do you have any questions? Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Since we're on, yes, please.
I remember in one of the talks, it said something about the way that you say it is maybe important, or is that true? Like the tone or something like that?
Yeah, tone is always important. I remember my mother used to tell me sometimes, "I don't like your tone." Even though I said the right thing. Like, "Please clean up your room." "Yeah, I'll do it." It's different from, "Yeah, I'll do it." So it all matters, and it's chanting is a prayer, really. And if you say it, if you have a sincere desire in your heart to reach out, to get help, and you say it in a mood of being a little helpless, like "please help me," that kind of thing, being open to sort of rescue, that's more effective, can be more effective. So it's not so much intonating, but it is what's inside of you when you're chanting, if you're feeling that you're open to transformation. What else? Oh, okay. Anybody else? I was thinking just to get started, we could do a synchronized, at least for maybe 20 beads, because it kind of makes a nice harmonious feeling. We'll go 20 beads together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good timing, we just got started. Good to see you again. So, what we're doing here this morning is what it looks like in the practice of Bhakti Yoga in the morning. It's taking some time for this mantra meditation. Camera doesn't stay on me all the time, by the way. You have to think Martin Scorsese, not sit in one place. You can translate that for him. You already have beads. Oh, okay. You've been chanting for some time. All right. It's about to... Anyway, what we just talked about is how when chanting, a simple way to be more effective is just to be aware of the chanting. Because one of the directives given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of the great teachers of Bhakti, is that to me, most effective, you have to be aware that wherever you're putting your focus is consequential. You're literally going to that place wherever you focus on. And therefore he says, the best effect from chanting comes when you deliberately focus on hearing the holy name, and that you notice if your mind goes away from the awareness, and then just bring it back and keep practicing being aware. And one of the questions you can ask yourself is, am I aware I'm chanting right now? Because we were just talking about how you could be doing something like reading a book and go through a whole paragraph, and if somebody asks you what you just read, you might say, I have no idea, because you were reading but your mind was somewhere else. So with chanting, it's possible also to go through the motions of chanting, but then have your mind be distracted somewhere else. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, who was here last week, he once gave an example of somebody who signs up for a gym to do exercise, and goes there and lifts a few things, goes home, and then thinks, well, that was a little difficult, but I still want to take advantage of the gym. So he goes to the gym, but instead of lifting weights, he just moves his arms like this. So we can think of chanting as a good idea and do it, but not do the heavy lifting, which is to be fully present for the chanting. That was the point we just talked about. How long have you been chanting?
Maybe about a week or so.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Okay. We were just doing an exercise where we're doing simultaneously, or that is, we're all chanting together. So we got through about 19 mantras. So we'll try another 20 together, because it's a good start to resonate. Do you have any comments about your chanting so far for the last week?
Just that I agree with what you were saying about awareness and reading a book. It's easy to let one's mind wander, but I think it's actually very it's good whenever you catch yourself kind of losing focus like that, because like you said, it's a good practice to bring your attention back to what you're doing. But also, if you notice yourself getting distracted by the same thing over and over, there could be like a particular discomfort in your mind's posture per se, that maybe, there's been this thing I've been doing these past days over and over, I've kind of been slacking or procrastinating on my work, and then you'll notice that when you're trying to tune out, you're trying to just do your meditation, you'll get distracted by the same thing. So that there's ask yourself, what's the lesson, right? So yeah,
Are you studying psychology here?
Physics.
Oh, physics. Yeah. You're very
He's extremely gifted physics student.
gifted physics.
Don't say that. That's
We don't want to wreck your chanting, right? Okay, well, I really like the observation, because it has a lot to do with the practice itself, which is called swadhyaya, which is self-observation. It's an opportunity to see ourselves, notice our minds, notice our interaction with the chanting, and oftentimes we don't get that much, or don't put much time into it, because life is so externalized. We're going on with the next thing. So to take time in japa to also, as you're pointing out, notice what are the sticking points. It can indicate something, makes one more deliberate in what one does. All right, let's try. We'll do 25 mantras together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let's just take a moment to share what you felt the difference was between the two. How did you feel?
I felt maybe less self-conscious maybe the second time. I think when I was doing it with everyone else, I'm trying to fit in or mimic what other people are doing, but when I did it myself, I was able to just listen to my own voice with more focus, I would say.
Nice. Anybody else have any experience?
I noticed that when I was chanting with the group, I was able to kind of focus on the sound, but when I was chanting on my own, I felt the mood of prayer was a bit deeper.
It's a good description. Anybody else? Or any thoughts so far, just from the session that we've had this morning? Yes.
About being aware. I was just thinking, you also mentioned in one of your talks that indifference is, the best way to torture a person. So when you're calling out to God and when you're chanting His name, it's better to be aware that you're trying to call out to Him rather than, calling out to Him, but not thinking of Him when you're calling out to Him. So I was thinking that you're trying to call out to God in a mood of service, and if you're not even being aware that you're doing that, then you're basically being indifferent to Him. So
Somebody once said the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And that's kind of torturous feeling when somebody's indifferent to you. Thanks. Nice observation. One more? Anybody? So now I thought we could just try one more aspect of the mantra meditation in a walking meditation. We just take a little stroll and chant at the same time. And when we go outside, obviously there's more stimuli from the outside world. Sometimes when you're sitting, there's more stimuli from the inside. But when chanting, you can just notice, as you're saying Krishna's names, that everything's an emanation from Krishna. And just hear the name, and if your eye catches on anything when you're walking, just remember that everything is Krishna. It's all coming from Him. It's all a manifestation of His external energy. Anybody want to try a walk around the block?
Yes.
Is it? You can't go out. Okay. Well, who knows the neighborhood can lead us around?
Dr. Bryan's one of the people we both know it.
Okay. It's not cold out, is it?
It's a little fresh.
It's a little fresh.
Yes.
It's bracing.